I'm Ronit Davis. I'm 19 years old and I'm from London, England, but I was originally born in South Africa.
So, what about last year? What did you do last year?
I took a year. This is so awkward. Can we just start this again?
No, it's totally fun. I like it. Let's keep going.
This is uncomfortable. Don't like public speaking or speaking into a video camera. Last year I took a year out after high school and I did some traveling around Europe, around Africa, a little bit around America, and I worked in South Africa for 2 months, and then I found myself in Israel for the last 7, and I flew to Israel from here, so I was in Tel Aviv during the latest Israel-Gaza war.
So, what place was your favorite?
They were all different. I love Israel. In terms of like falling in love with a country, that would be my favorite country because I definitely fell in love with it during the time that I was there. But they were different. Like all of them taught me something else about myself or about the people around me. They were all like part of my gap year and I wouldn't have changed any of the places. I can't say I had a favorite. I know which place I'm dying to go back to again.
And which is that?
Israel. But I go back to South Africa a lot. I'll be there in December. So as much changes, as much stays the same.
Who will you be seeing in South Africa?
My family were all originally from there. Me and my sister were born there. My dad was born there. My mom's actually from Zimbabwe. And it's kind of a family tradition that we reunite in Cape Town every Christmas. I can't imagine a Christmas not being in Cape Town. Very, very sad.
What kind of traditions do you have there?
Not Christmas traditions because I'm Jewish. But some of the things that I've been doing for years, probably one of the longest traditions is the New Year's Eve hike. We go with about 50 people and we hike up Table Mountain, which is the biggest mountain in South Africa. I'm very bad at geography, so I'm not entirely sure if it's just the biggest mountain in like the Western Cape. I mean, it's like in Cape Town, it's Lion's Head and Table Mountain, and we do a hike up there every morning, New Year's Eve, and it's a lot of fun. I've done a lot of amazing hikes, and I've had some incredible views of the city. That's one of the traditions that I look forward to. I surf there. It's where I learned to surf. I surf almost every morning there. I love that. I started a new tradition of going to yoga all the time there. It's a very sporty holiday. We have a Christmas evening barbecue for all our friends who are also Jewish, who do nothing on Christmas. And my dad usually braais, which is the South African term for barbecue, fish and things like that. What other like big traditions? I don't know. Like one particular thing we do every year, other than the hike. We have breakfast. We host breakfast at our house after the hike every year, and then I like jump into the pool ceremoniously. And we started a new tradition a few years ago. My dad likes us all. We go with family friends. We go to this big like philharmonic concert or philharmonic orchestra's concert at a wine farm for New Year's Eve. And then they usually have like some sort of famous South African singer perform. It's a lot of fun. Pop champagne at midnight, snacks. It's a good time. It's an old time. Usually in bed by like 2.
So going back to Israel, what was it like being there during the war?
What was it like being there during the war? Very confusing. I think it would have been very different if I was in like the US, if the US was at war, or the UK. Israel's constantly at war, so the way in which they deal with it is almost like going about your everyday life. So my time there was very normal. I would go to the gym most days, and I'd go out for meals with my friends, and in the evening sometimes I would go out. And there'd be people out, but the city was quieter. You could always find a seat at the restaurants that usually you could be queuing for hours for, and like the streets were empty and like the clubs a little less busy, and in that sense it was different, like from the mundane activities. It was hard at times. I had gone back to London for a few days to pack to come to America, and I'd flown back out to Tel Aviv just as the war had started, the rocket attacks, that is. And when I arrived that evening, I slept through, I think, some sirens. I was really tired. And then the next day, my first day there, I heard my first booms from the Iron Dome's interception of the rockets towards Tel Aviv. That was scary. The building shakes. You have to leave the apartment and you stand in the stairway. I'd never experienced that before. It's loud and it's terrifying. The sirens going. And that happened quite a lot that evening. It was a Saturday evening because Hamas had decided that they were throwing everything that they had at Tel Aviv, and I was on the phone to my dad and he was talking me through it. And then they kind of became a part of my weekly activities. You could always count on Hamas to wake you up much earlier than you wanted to be up. Or count on them like getting you out the shower or like mid-snack makeup before you go out in the evening. They never did it. Often didn't do it during the middle of the day. I did have one once. I did have a siren once when I was on the train. I had a siren once when I was walking on the streets. There were a couple sirens when I was at the gym. I didn't hear those because the gym was underground. Lots of sirens woke me up in the middle of the night. Lots of sirens around like 9, 10 p.m. in the evening. That was a favorite time for them to get going. It was a stressful time, but it was a very eye-opening time, and I learned a lot about culture in the Middle East being there during that. And I learned a lot about how complex the conflict can be and how confusing it can be, and being there as an outsider but kind of experiencing it at the same time. It's a good learning experience. I'm really glad that I was there.
What was it like during this time being away from your family?
I've been away for a while now. Being away from home, I'd say, is harder than being away from my family, because I still see my family quite regularly. Obviously I haven't seen them since I've seen my sister once since I've got here, but I haven't seen them. I haven't seen my parents, and I haven't seen my brother since the summertime. It's hard. I miss the UK a lot. It's been a really long time since I've been in London for more than 2 days, and even a long time since I've even been there for 2 days. So it's been a while, and you start to miss home and things about home. I miss my bedroom a lot. I miss my dog. My family. I grew up. My parents traveled a lot, so I'm pretty used to being away from them, and it's okay. It's sad. I miss my brother. But my mother's coming up for Thanksgiving, and I'll see my dad in December, and I'll see my brother in December, and I'll see my sister in Thanksgiving, and so it's tough, but it's okay. You know, I made this choice. I'm doing fine, but it does get to you when it like kind of reaches the year mark, and you're like, wow, I don't live at home anymore. That's when it like really hit me. Like, it's not my permanent home anymore. I won't like be moving back in, but that's okay. Anything else?
I feel like you got a lot. I really like it. I feel like I know so much more about you now.
So
much more than I knew before. I love it.